Let me paint you a picture. It's the final week of the Premier League season, and Arsenal Football Club sit atop of the Premier League. And right now, today, we could be handed the title without even kicking a ball. This is not a drill. This is not hypothetical. This is the reality of where we are. So welcome to the Gooners Voice, Reece Jacobs here. And today, we are breaking down exactly what needs to happen, how it happens, okay, and what Arsenal must do to make sure they control this title race. Because Gooners, the finish line is in front of us. So let's talk about it. Let me lay out the table, okay, the situation of the table clearly, so everyone is on the same page. Arsenal are top, like we know. We've done our jobs against Burnley, and by God, did we make it look hard. But yeah, we got our job done. 1-0 to the Arsenal, another set piece, who cares? And in typical fashion, we've done everything asked of us this season. So the points are on the board. 5 points ahead of City. City obviously have a game in hand. The performances haven't been there for Arsenal this season, but the results has. And it comes down to the final days of a Premier League campaign that have been quite gripping. I think the most gripping for an Arsenal fan. You know, we've never really had it on the last day of the season. And, you know, Man City 5 points behind. They face Bournemouth. You know, they face a Bournemouth side that has had a terrific season. Think about it. Bournemouth, technically, are going for Champions League football. Bournemouth. No disrespect to Bournemouth, but a side that plays with so much energy. I think they've got great confidence at the moment. 16 games unbeaten? Longest unbeaten run across Europe's top 5 leagues, if I'm not mistaken. And they have the quality to take points off anyone on their day. We think about that Emirates game. Bournemouth came to the Emirates, and what a game of football they played. You know, a really hard place to come. I think Arsenal's won, 14 games at the Emirates this season. So here's the simple version of what happens next, okay? Scenario 1. Man City lose to Bournemouth today, or Man City drop points to Bournemouth today, and I would be ecstatic. Arsenal are Premier League champions without kicking a ball. 22 years of waiting, you know, ended by a result that doesn't even involve us. And I think that would be the most beautiful way to beat this Man City team. You know, for them to bottle, I use that word, for them to bottle after all the little mind games, after that smug Haaland at the end of the Etihad game, you know, with his face singing his stupid little song. I think that would be the most beautiful way to win this title. Scenario 2, Man City win today. And that's a scenario I don't want, to be honest. And it goes down to the final day, and Arsenal face Crystal Palace. You know, Selhurst Park will be pumped. They will be doing everything they can for that title not to be in Arsenal's hands. But still in our destiny, still in our hands, still our moment. Okay? So, the two scenarios, you know, Bournemouth nick a point today, Bournemouth take all 3 points today, Arsenal win the league. If Arsenal beat Palace on Sunday, at the end of those scenarios, Arsenal will be lifting that Premier League trophy. So how we get there doesn't matter, but we need to understand the tactical picture of today's game. Okay, and that's what we're going to do right now. Let's start with Bournemouth versus Man City. Could make or break our evening. So I want to be honest with you, I don't like relying on other teams to do the job for us. I think if you're true champions, you go out there, you win it on the pitch yourselves. But we have to acknowledge the reality. You know, this result, it matters enormously. So can Bournemouth get a result against Man City? 100%. 100%. Look at it tactically. Bournemouth, under Iraola, have been one of the most impressive teams in the Premier League this season. They press high, which could possibly be a bit of an issue against Man City, because Man City play through the press beautifully. But Bournemouth are really compact as well. And they have match winners in the final 30. Look at Krupi, look at Rayan. And they can punish City, I believe. So, Man City, on the other hand, they've been inconsistent, let's be fair, in this title race. You know, dropping points against Everton at the Hill Dickinson. which is arguably an easier ground than the Vitality, depending on who you ask. But they've had moments of brilliance this season. Um, I mean, they've got players like Ryan Cherky, Erling Haaland, but they have looked vulnerable, and particularly against sides who force their fullbacks into uncomfortable positions. Because you look at Man City's fullbacks, you look at Matheus Nunes, as good as he's been this season, he's not a fullback. You look at Nico O'Reilly, he is a midfielder playing at left back. So Bournemouth's best chance in this game is to do exactly that. Make them uncomfortable. Get in City's faces early. Get that vitality right behind your back on their players. Don't let them settle into any sort of rhythm. Force mistakes in their own half. And then, hit them with pace on the counter. We know Bournemouth are terrific on the counter-attack. If Bournemouth sit deep, like Everton, they'll lose this game. They're not a team made out for that. If they invite pressure, City will pick them apart. And City will be in a good mood after the news of Guardiola. I think their players will want to give something to the manager as a parting gift. And maybe that's why they brought out the news now as opposed to the end of the season. And I actually want to talk about that in another video, because I've been following the 115 charges case, and the verdict should come out in June. So I find it really iffy as to why Guardiola's leaving before. He still has a year left on his contract. But that's for another video. So my honest assessment, I think this will be a tight game. Obviously, City need to win. They'll be motivated, like I said, Guardiola leaving and players wanting to give him a parting gift. But this Bournemouth team are a dangerous animal, and City are not the invincible force they once were. So regardless, we can sit and enjoy the game. I will be hoping for a miracle. I'm not sure about you guys. Be interested to hear how you want to win the title. I know how I'd want to win it. I don't want it to go to the final of the season. I don't think I can handle that. I don't think my heart can handle that. But yeah, the team will probably watch the game and prepare for Sunday as if City would just win this game, because that's the mentality of this team. I think that's the mentality of champions. So let's go to Sunday. Arsenal versus Crystal Palace. If City win today, we have to go to Selhurst Park. We have to win that game, full stop. And it comes down to 90 minutes at Selhurst. And Arsenal need to get the job done. As simple as that. Under Glasner this season, Palace have been a bit weird, to be honest. They're fascinating. One game they look like world beaters, and the next they just lay flat, like we saw against Man City. But yeah, they're really good on the counter, and I think Arteta will be very aware of that. And I expect us to just really control the game once again. Haram ball, like they call it. Protecting the spaces behind our fullbacks, smothering the opposition, keeping the ball moving in what we call the Arsenal fashion now, the horseshoe around the box. But the key is it's just for Arsenal. Control the game, control the tempo, and nick it. Yeah, don't let the occasion or the nerves dictate the pace of the game. Just get on the ball early, find your rhythm, and impose yourself at Selhurst. The only thing I'm really concerned about is like a slow start. If Arsenal is still like 0-0 on the 60th minute and Man City are probably smashing Aston Villa 3 or 4, I think that could bring a lot of nervous energy around the Arsenal team at Selhurst. But yeah, I think Arteta has done a really excellent job at managing those nervous moments this season. So I know he'll drill the team beautifully, and I think they know their jobs. I think this team is really professional. So yeah, let's see what happens. It's moments like these that define players. So we need some names to step up. Yeah, we need some names to step up. Before we end off, I just want to talk about the mental game of this title race, because it's not talked about enough. The pressure that these players are under right now, immense. Every training session, every team meeting, every interview. The title's the only conversation. We haven't even had a chance to think about Budapest yet. The entire football world is watching, and they're watching with jealousy and envy in their eyes, because they want Arsenal to slip up. They are praying for Arsenal to slip up, because their clubs have been in muddy waters all season. And here's the thing, that pressure is not a negative. we've heard the team talk about it before. Pressure is a privilege in this position. You know, it means you are close enough to something great, and that's what matters. And Arteta has built a culture at Arsenal that I believe is specifically designed to handle this moment. You know, that to get the togetherness of that squad, it feels real. You know, you see it in the way they celebrate together. Yesterday at the end of the game on the pitch, the way they defend for each other. You know, they never panic when a game gets difficult. It was 1-0 against Burnley yesterday. Burnley didn't even have a shot on target. You know, scoreline, let's be fair, scoreline, yeah, was, I don't think it reflected the game. You think about that penalty call. I'm not sure how that wasn't a penalty, let's be honest. You know, people talk about the Havertz red card. I think the two of them equaled each other out because that was a stonewall pen. Trossard hits the post. Eze has a glorious chance and he heads it into the Burnley defender. I think it was Esteve. So, yeah, I genuinely believe this Arsenal squad is mentally ready. They're preparing for exactly this moment all season. And when Sunday comes, if it comes, because we might win the league today, I don't think they'll freeze. I think they'll perform. So, yeah. Final take. I want Bournemouth to cause an upset today. I think they're capable of it. And if they do, you know, the scenes across North London, the scenes across Arsenal social media, you know, we'll never forget it. So, yeah, come on, Bournemouth. But if City do win today, you know, we go again on Sunday. You know, and Sunday becomes everything. So, yeah, my full prediction, my full scenario for today, I think City drop points. I think Arsenal go to Selhurst in a celebratory mood, you know, as champions. I think that would be beautiful. And would be 22 years ended, you know, waiting for a trophy. And actually gives me chills saying that Arsenal will be champions. So yeah, regardless what happens, subscribe if you're new here, please. We'd love to add you to this community. Or see the thumbs up, because we will be doing a reaction video to that City Bournemouth game, and you don't want to miss that, because it could be the video that we win the title. I'll be here for every second of it. So yeah, up the Arsenal. Let's bring it out. Come on, you Gunners.